Welcome, good evening, one and all, to the southern suburbs of Sao Paulo for the sixth and final round of Season 3 of the VMS Platinum Split on Le Mans Ultimate. My name is Edward Hunter. I'm delighted to say I'm joined in the commentary box by my co-commentator, Chris Buxton, returning after a round away, and the ever-present, ever-reliable, ever-brilliant Nicolas Domino, our broadcast director. So as you can see, it's very damp. It's very wet on the surface here at Sao Paulo in the middle of Brazil, but this is the venue for the finale, and we have got a very, very stacked hypercar grid of 14 cars, a third of which are still in title contention as I speak, and then we've got our GD3 title battle between Nicolas Hupen trying to chase down the dominant driver of the season already, as it's turned out, which has been Mr. Consistent, Marin Bessier, and that Aston Martin, the Frenchman, has just had a very, very strong run as of late, and I think he is many people's favourite. We've got the drop score rule in place, of course, which means Bessier has got a fourth place he can afford to drop, so it's really a case if he can finish third or higher, then he will be looking pretty unbeatable in terms of the points. It's only Hupen that can stop him by taking victory with Bessier fourth or lower. Anyway, we've got more permutations to talk through, but let's bring in Chris here, who's been waiting patiently for his turn to talk as practice counts down. Chris, this is exciting, isn't it? Because we've got two very, very intense title battles, and a lot of drivers looking to prove themselves, as attention is going to slowly shift at the end of this towards Season 4 as well, where qualifiers, by the way, have opened.
Absolutely true. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, brothers and sisters. Yes, another season doth conclude this evening. I think there was a little one, I think, out of the east some point. I think McLaren did fairly well from what I gather. No, fair play to Lando for that one. Not biased at all. Glad we did it. But yes, look at that, 5 drivers all in contention. Mathematically, some needing a little bit more luck than others in the hypercar field. I quite like the fact that we've had some colour changes. The Falcon colours that I've always been really, really partial to. Mitchell Hoyer, one of 3 drivers now wearing that. Oh, as I commentate on you, just a small bump sends around. BMW round he went.
And he's dirtied up that lovely livery as well.
Quite a lot of mud into the Sao Paulo sky. Looked like he just caught a bump just as he span up there. Oh, he really lost.
It was on entry, yeah, into Pico de Pato.
Very, very early into, indeed, Pico de Pato. So not only do we have a fantastic venue, Interlagos, I know both of them. I love this place. The lap may be shorter, but it is a brilliant venue. Never failed to have a good race here in Interlagos, but it is, as you can quite clearly see, very wet, and we are going to be seeing rain, or we have a very high percentage chance of seeing rain in quali and especially in the race. So we really hope everybody's practiced the wet weather conditions. Not everybody does. Generally, you'll do vast majority of your practices in the dry, but so much changes. It's not just early braking points or being a little bit more ginger in the with the throttle application in the wet. So much changes when the weather is this heavy.
Indeed it is. Let's see on screen very quickly. These are the race results from Spa last time out. So this is a good refresher for you and anybody who missed that race, Chris. With Nicolas Hupen, of course, winning to keep himself in title contention. He's the only one that can stop Marin Bessier now, who did still bank P2. Bessier always seems to pull it out the bag somehow this season. Artem Manisha, graduate from the Gold Split, took his first podium. He finished second here in the Gold Split, was just beaten by Alexander Hanna, and he narrowly beat Alexis Herndt to the line. In fact, I think Manisha did actually cross the line behind, and then there was some sort of penalty or something that gave it to the position to Manisha there. So yeah, Alexis Herndt in the Aston Martin just missing out, but nonetheless getting P4. Patrick Schindler tried to get the field to last. The strategy couldn't quite work in his favour at Spa. He had to pit with a couple laps to go, ended up finishing P5. Niels Klinkmuller was sixth ahead of Remy Delorme, another man who was in title contention but didn't have a great race at Spa, didn't qualify well, was able to still get to P7, but I think Remy Delorme is very much looking at consolidating third in the points. William Giovannini was eighth, ahead of David Naskidashvili and Elias Shorneck, who rounded out the top 10. All of the bottom five in Aston Martins there in the top 10. And these are your standings. As you can see, Marin Bessier, 85 points to Remy Delorme's 62 and Nicolas Huppen's 62. It's the drop score rule that means Marin Bessier has that fourth place that he will have to lose at the moment, it would seem, unless he can better it, of course. So that puts Marin Bessier essentially at sort of match point. Delorme, he's had, I think, a non-finish somewhere or other, whereas Nicolas Huppen has had he has a drop score somewhere, but his results have been slightly better than Remy Delorme's on the whole, despite the fact that Delorme is technically classified ahead of him. So it's slightly complicated because of the drop score rule. You've got to remember that. Then in fourth, we've got Patrick Schindler, 51 points in the Lexus. Thomas Leiden is fifth in his Lexus on 43, equal with Leon Berndt, the Porsche. So both Leiden and Berndt have both won a race this season, and they are fighting for P5, potentially P4 as well, if they can get involved with Patrick Schindler. Alexis Herndt is P7, ahead of Artyom Manish, who's only really done the back half of the season, 25 points to the Corvette driver's name. Then we've got Niels Klinkmuller and Clement Arbois rounding out the top 10. As you alluded to earlier, Chris, it's actually clear for qualifying. 36% chance of rain. Maximum intensity would be light rain in quali, as we see the GT3 field. Loads of Astons taking to the circuit. Remy Delorme at the front of the queue in his Go Team livery. About to be overtaken there by, oh dear, that looks like the...
Shorneck.
It's Shorneck, yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is a real clear indication that everybody wants to beat the weather. Now, they only have 10 minutes, again, those that are not familiar with the qualifying format for this series. Yes, the timer starts at 25 minutes, but that's for both classes. The GT3s go out for the first 10 minutes. The hypercar have the final 10 minutes, with 5 minutes in between for the GT3s to finish the lap they are on. But everybody's getting out there and getting on with it because they do not want to be beaten by the weather. Now, yes, the percentage is fairly low, but drainage has never been particularly brilliant here in Interlagos. So everyone is, you can see no one is taking their time as we've got the number 5 Aston Martin for Lexus here. There's this bouncing along the inside of Shorneck there, so no one is waiting. You don't get that kind of give it a bit of time, get the tires. Well, everyone has got out there and got on with it because they do not want to be caught out by the weather, as it looks like Remy Delorme is going to be the first to cross the beam.
Yep, there we go. So P2 at the present moment for the Frenchman, of course, the reigning champion in the Virtual Endurance Championship in Hypercar. So it's been a great year for the Go Team as well on multiple fronts in sim racing. So Remy Delorme looking to end things on a high. He's had a number of second places this season, but no wins, which I think is why Nicolas Huppen has got that small advantage, because his best result is one position higher as he goes purple. That means fastest in the first sector, 26.192. And of course, Remy Delorme will need to keep this going. What I was going to mention earlier was 36% chance of rain in qualifying, but come the race, that goes up dramatically to 87% chance of rain, with the maximum intensity being heavy rain. So it's very likely we're looking at a deluge at some point come the race start at 7 p.m. GMT, 8 p.m. CET, of course. So that's going to be really fascinating when the rain comes. Who decides to do what, because it could come a lot earlier than expected if everybody gets caught with their pants down on the grid, which has been known to happen on multiple occasions, as Delorme really pushing through Mergulio, 49.188 as we continue to ride on board with the Go Team driver. And it's just a long run uphill here. It's always a bit of a frustrating feeling on a lap where you know you're up, but you have to wait so long to get to the line here and just keep as tight to the inside as possible. Take the shortest run. And here comes Remy Delorme as you see multiple Astons slipstream each other in the background. Delorme goes fastest, 136.686, immediately beaten him by Alexis Herndt, who no doubt was getting a bit of a tow from the Aston in front of him.
Here's Remy Messier, the GT3 Championship leader, wanting to, of course, secure that championship. As I was mentioning, only Nicholas Hubert is challenger, and it would take a pretty disastrous effort for Marin Messier. Now, does Marin Messier try and just play it sensibly, finish on the podium? That's all he has to do. Or is the racing instinct going to take over? I think we all know the general answer to that. However, with the rain, with the jeopardy that creates, all it takes is one mistake. And we saw it plenty of times in practice, where just one bump, bear in mind how heavy the rain is potentially going to be. There's no guarantee that your braking zone is going to be the exact same as it was in the previous lap. In a dry race, that's a fairly, it would take something rather strange for your braking zone to change lap on lap on lap. Yes, there's a little bit of rubber that goes down, granted. But when there's very heavy rain, particularly in Interlagos, where the rain just stays, it doesn't drain away particularly well, then you've got standing water, you've got the potential for corners, the characteristics of corners to change lap on lap on lap. That's not what race drivers want. They want consistency. They need to know when they hit the brakes at a given point. They need to know their car is going to stop, or at least slow down enough for their race to continue. Especially when you've got a championship on the line. They do not want to be rolling the dice, hoping they don't skew their car into the wall on the following lap, because the pedal is slightly heavier or slightly deeper than it was the lap before. As we've got some more laps on the board, your surname needs to end with a T if you want to be on the front row at the moment with Bernd and Hand on the front row, 3/10 apart. That's quite a surprise. Interlagos is a comparatively short lap, and that's quite a gap, especially when you look at the next, down to 7th, down to where Marin Messier is. It's very, very small gaps, as you would expect in Interlagos. So that's really quite a lap there from the Porsche.
Yeah, Leon Bernd, of course, was on the front row. I think he might have actually been on pole at Spa before. I think Hubin jumped him at the start and then basically took control of that particular race. So yeah, Leon Bernd has been impressive in this phase of the season. It's a shame his race in Spa sort of fell apart midway through. He picked quite early compared to everybody else, and then just hit trouble midway through. Of course, it was very, very wet, very, very damp at Spa, so difficult to avoid. And the weather, as you very rightly say, is going to play at Spa here. I do wonder how many of the drivers have decided to go maybe compromise the setup a little bit, that will maybe make them a bit slower in qualifying, but potentially once the rain starts falling, they might have the perfect setup come race conditions. And I wonder if Leon Bernd has decided, right, let's get this Porsche on pole position and get the 992 as far away from everybody else as possible. Look at that. Hurnt beats him by 0.02 of a second there. So Alexis Hurnt in the Aston Martin Vantage, he just keeps lighting up the timing screen. Hubin now is not far away at all. Neither is Bessier, all within 1/10 of a second there, our top four. And that is absolutely fascinating. And Bessier desperately needs to stay as close to Hubin as possible to prevent the German from threatening him whatsoever in the championship.
That's the sort of gaps I was expecting. 2000s, it's still very, very close. As we now look at our current pole sitter, Alexis Hurnt, in the Aston. Quite an Aston heavy field. There's Leon Bernd, the former pole sitter, on a new fastest lap. So purple in sector 1. Using every pixel available to him, coming up the hill. That's Laragino, and now the S is coming down from turn 8 into Peronino. Couldn't quite see who that is already ahead of him, but the number 60 Porsche now working his way through this roller coaster.
It's Bessier ahead of him, isn't it?
That is Marin Messier. So currently 4th in the tower. I love this second. I'm hopeless at it, but I just when you get the flow, when you just get that zen moment where the lap just works, there is very few places like it. I love Interlagos. I can't drive a lap of it for love nor money consistently anyway. But GT3 machinery pretty well sticks anywhere you put it. So Leon, Remy Delorme was briefly up on the top spot with Alexis Hurnt getting back into position. Now Thomas Leiden getting involved. What about Leon Bernd? Improves in time, but still remains in third because everyone around him is improving.
We've got 90 seconds left in GT3 qualifying then. because the checkered flag comes out with 15 minutes remaining, and then we get a 5-minute break, as you rightly pointed out at the start of the session before the hypercars are released. Bessier has gone back to the pit lane, so he's not got a whole lot of time to get out again. Does that mean Marin Bessier might well start no better than 6th? And on a track that the conditions is continuing to get faster and faster this circuit, although this is not a great lap from Patrick Schindler there, so he might have to restart again and hope that this is just a cool down lap before he speeds up again with another great effort from the Lexus there. But yeah, at the moment, it is very much Aston, Porsche, and then Mustang in the form of Huben, with Leiden getting is the highest Lexus in 5th at the moment. Schindler, though, gets into the center. You can see how low the front is running to the ground as sparks fly from the front under tray there, as it just hits almost the curb as he goes through the center S, through Curva del Sol, onto the Reta Aposta, the run into turn 4, Descida de Largo. And again, the front, you can see the rake, the aggressive rake of that Lexus, as the moment he hits the brakes, the front sort of complains as it tightens in. But it's doing what Patrick Schindler is asking of it so far. Alexis Hearn, a pole sitter, can he go quicker? Oh, I think that was about, no, he's been beaten by Huben. There we go, 134.642, Leon Byrne. Oh, sets an identical time to 3 decimal places with 4 seconds left in the session. There we go, Leon Byrne putting it all on the line, but that is a perfect lap for Nicolas Huben, and if the race finishes like the grid is looking at the moment, then he is going to take this championship. Marin Bessier only down in 6th.
That is not what Marin Bessier needed. He did not want his championship rival on pole in the GT3s. Patrick Schindler was purple in Sector 1, but lost a bit of time in Sector 2. Could well improve. He's in 8th at the moment, 7 tenths off the top spot. He's a couple of tenths from there now. Is he going to complete the lap? Is he going to come into the pits? No, he is going to complete the lap. That growling Lexus past the camera, over the line, and that is up into 6th. Finds himself 3 tenths off that top spot. So very close, but to the thousandths of a second. Leon Byrne. Oh, Aston and Porsche. You couldn't really, 2 very different cars delivering the same lap time in 2 very different ways. But Remy Delorme could still upset that top order.
Yeah, Huben, of course, in the Mustang, but particularly it's Mustang, Porsche, and then Aston Martin. So 3 different manufacturers in the top 3 positions. And unfortunately, that lap for Schindler's put Bessier, of course, another place down. So all the pressure is on the Frenchman, the championship leader, as Remy Delorme to the line. He comes, and he takes pole. There we go. By 25 thousandths of a second. It does not get much closer than this. Look at our top 4, just millimeters between them. I think, if you were able to put them side by side in terms of overall lap time. But there we go, it's Delorme at the last gasp that takes pole position, looking for that first win of the season. Huben is going to line up 2nd, so I'm not sure what that does in the championship permutations. I have to take a quick look at that. I think Huben does actually need to win, so that's a bit of a setback for him. So Remy Delorme all of a sudden has become Marin Bessier's best friend there. So the grid order: Remy Delorme pole position, Nicolas Huben 2nd, Leon Byrne 3rd, Alexis Hearn 4th, Thomas Leiden 5th, Patrick Schindler 6th, Marin Bessier down in 7th, the championship leader, Elias Shornick 8th, Michel Rodriguez in the McLaren 9th, Nils Klinkmuller 10th, and Clement Arbois only a 2nd off pole, but down in 11th. That really tells you how competitive it's been in GT3 this season.
Very, very true. And you're right, Nicolas Huben has to win, and Marin Bessier 4th or lower. So even if Nicolas Huben is in 2nd, it makes no difference. With the drop scores that Marin Bessier has, if he's 4th or lower, he scores no more points from this round. So it has to be a win. It really is boom or bust for Nicolas Huben, and he is going to have to rely on a rough showing from Marin Bessier, and that's a very tall gamble considering the performances we've seen from that particular Aston all season long. So, Nicolas Huben has done all he can to give himself the best shot of it. But even still, Marin Bessier is going to be looking at that, thinking, "Oh dear Lord!" But here is the results from the previous race from the hypercar class. Arda Erchan keeping his championship alive just about with the win narrowly over Yannis Semencic. Michi Hoyer bringing home the 2nd of the BMWs, in BMW 234. Bono House, the next one down. Isaac Gillison in the Ferrari coming home in 5th. Sven Gilhard in 6th. Kobe Chan in the Aston 7th. Johannes Priest in the Peugeot, I think the only Peugeot we have in the field, in 8th. James Baldwin in the Ferrari 9th. And Marco De Bono in the Alpine, rounding out the top 10 from last race. So this is how the championship looks. 5 contenders for the top spot. Grigoletto, who has been the class of the field all season long, still up there in the Ferrari. Dario Yamilo in 2nd, just 11 points behind. Then it is a little bit further back, Sven Gilhard in 3rd, Yanni Simic 4th, Michi Hoyer. Well, that's saying Michi Hoyer in 5th. I thought it was.
This looks like the round 4 standing, so it should be round 5.
Yeah,
So what I'm seeing
that is round 4 standing. So that's what threw me, because Arna Erchan,
because both Grigoletto and Emilio retired, so their points are the same. But behind it
that's
should
what
be
threw me.
it should be Simic having finished 2nd on 58 points and 3rd behind them. Sven Gilhard on 53 and Arda Erchan 49. And then I think it's Michi Hoy who's out of contention.
That's what threw me, because the top 2 scores were the same. So apologies there, but yeah, these Grigoletto 73.
No, it's not your fault. You're only reading what Nicolas put in front of you. These things happen.
Indeed.
And, Nicolas
he said it was his fault.
He put his hand up. That's a rare.
He did. It's very, very rarely he makes an error, and I'm going to say that because of the whole red button history that him and I have. That's the only reason I'm saying that.
Yeah.
After broadcast, I was like, no, I won't. No, not at all.
Anyway, before we get too far in this session, we should. There is one of our BMWs exiting the pits. That's not Simic, it's one of the other ones. It's number 15, isn't it? So we should look at the Johannes Price Denoyer, of course, from the gold split. And speaking of the gold split, the man just behind him in the Peugeot, we should congratulate Johannes Price because last weekend, in the gold split at Qatar, he sealed the gold split title, so he is the 2025 VMS gold split champion. We didn't get to broadcast it live, sadly for him, but he does get a little bit of a showing here to at least a bit of a glory run to sort of show what that Peugeot can do. He's been very, very strong all season in gold split, and as you saw, he was in the top 10 in P8, wasn't he? Fighting away with the likes of Kobe Chan, who's been very impressive in the Aston Martin Valkyrie, and of course James Baldwin, who needs no introduction but has been so successful not just in sim racing but real life racing as well. So it's good to see those three duking out in the rain at Spa, and now we're going to see what they can do at Interlagos, as there's Michi Hoy, who's putting all memory of that spin in the wet in practice behind him, because now it's very, very different conditions, and he's just got to see if he can get as high up the grid as possible. Did sort of inherit the podium with the heartbreaking disconnection for Imulo, and I think that's the frustration for Dario, the Italian, because I think he was within 2 sectors of winning that race at Spa before being disconnected, and if he had, he would have gone in here ahead of Grigoletto and in very, very strong form, because Grigoletto got spun out on the first lap, didn't qualify that well, and then finished outside the points, just outside the top 10 as it happens then. So yeah, both of our top 2 non-scoring at Spa has allowed Simic, Gil and Nurchan to all ease in that little bit closer. So the tension is going to build and build. And you've got to think there are a number of other drivers that are looking to spoil the party for Grigoletto, especially our reigning champion. So it's going to be difficult to make it 2 in a row. It's never been done in the VMS Platinum Split, but Grigoletto is going to throw absolutely everything at it.
Oh, Michi Hoyer, the nose of that car just did not want to bite at all. It looked like a lot of understeer. The track's still boat. Oh, now the tail is getting lively. That's a lot of lively that Michi Hoyer is going on in the BMW at the moment. He's coming through the big of the bateau, turn 10 down from his yellow, flat out left-hander of turn 11. Well, although you can see he's actually easing off the gas there. Then Jun Shao, look at the amount of right hand he's putting into a left-hand bend. That is a very lively car. The car, you can see how much it's bouncing around. It's a very, very bumpy circuit. Is Interlagos. Michi Hoyer then completes the lap. Let's see how the tower is starting to form. It's the Peugeot that currently sits at the top. Oh, bit of a lock up there from Michi Hoyer. 23.5 is the current benchmark set by Johannes Price in the Peugeot. The Peugeot looks so different. The Peugeot looks,
Whoa.
in some ways, it looks tiny. Oh, as I was saying, that Kobe Chan in the Aston in the screen. Oh, look at that! I love that behind Francesco Damu. The Valkyrie sliding its way through the center S's. That was a very dramatic shot by Kobe Chan.
Yeah, I think he may be getting a little bit of a toe down the start-finish straight out of Jun Chao and on the run through Subido to boxes. That sort of kink that's the left-hander before the finish line, essentially, in the pit entry. But yeah, Kobe Chan definitely taking the sideways. Oh, Zadamu has a little moment of his own, just avoids the wall there through Ferradura, the horseshoe, which is the sort of double apex right-hander there. And it's so easy, especially with the wide entry. Often you see the cars going all to the left, almost completely off the circuit, and then rejoining it off the runoff, just so they get the widest entry that they can. But yeah, Kobe Chan getting a lot of early time out of the Valkyrie here, and the Hong Kong resident continuing to impress, and the engine note absolutely rising to fever pitch in the Visceral Valkyrie then. It's been such an impressive debut season, isn't it? A pole position in Qatar, just missed out on the podium in that particular race. How dearly Kobe Chan would love to set yet another pole here, but he is absolutely gunning for it. Didn't have a great start in Spa, but yeah, again, lowers the provisional pole time slightly, 1:23.0. And yeah, Arda Erchan, currently the highest of our title contenders, but yeah, Grigoletto in 5th, sort of knows he only really has to worry about Umulo and Simicic, who are the two closest to him, and maybe Geelhead right ahead of him. Could be a bit of a thorn in the side as well. But Grigoletto, let's remind ourselves, needs to finish P3 or better. At the moment, he's 5th with the main threat to him, Simicic, down in 10th, although I think we're yet to see the best of Yene so far, as Johannes Price is also on a fast lap in the Peugeot. So it's the two unfancied cars of the season, the Valkyrie and the Peugeot 9X8, that seem to be the ones to be in at Interlagos right now.
Fabio Grigoletto, though, he's got that purple sector 1, just 14 thousandths. He's got the sector 2 time on the board just yet. Let's see what our championship leader can get on the board. Our champion and championship leader can get on the board. 1:23.003, the current pole time set by Kobe Chan. Yanni Simincic, we look at now, sits in 9th position. That is not going to help his championship prospect. Riding on board then as we come down, we've done center S's, we're through Curva well, just completing Curva del Sol, that long left-hander. Now the Retro Apostles, very bumpy straight into Descida del Lago. We'll be seeing a lot of overtaking there with the slipstreaming going on. And again, you see how he's wrestling the BMW through the turns. Green sector though, so personal best for sector 1. Still finds himself 3/10 off. Wow, Kobe Chan has opened up that pole to a 22.4, 6/10 ahead of anybody else. Arda Erchan and Johannes Price very, very close together in 2nd and 3rd, but that's a huge gap. For,
yeah, it's such a short lap here as well, so
yeah,
that really shows he has found something in that Valkyrie, and maybe this is where going unconventional on car choice can really help him. Of course, we don't know if the Valkyrie can maybe keep that pace up, say, in the wet, or when tyre wear becomes a big factor here. We shouldn't be looking at too many pit stops in the race unless the weather changes dramatically, of course. That would be the big thing. This is not going to be an especially fuel-sensitive race unless it's dry all the way through, because those who are watching Season 1 remember this man, Simincic, fighting Devin Rutchick to the line. Again, another improvement from Simincic. He goes 5th, 9/10 of pole, right behind Sven Giel. Crucially, a couple of hundredths ahead of Fabio Grigoletto here. And there's Dario Mulo, who has got it all to do all over again, having been robbed of the win, quite frankly, at Spa. But the Veloce racing driver knows he has got the pace to do something special here. It's just a matter of sewing it all together with 2 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, we're not quite in do or die, all or nothing yet. They've got a couple of laps, enough time for a couple of laps on the board. We will see, though, what Dario Yamilo can achieve here as he starts potentially his penultimate lap, or it depends if he's going to do 2-time laps. This could well be his last time lap. We will see. Through turn 3, all flat out along the Retro Aposta once again. He does not want to be starting down in 8th place. He's got a second to find from it, and he's half a second down in the first sector alone. That is one testament to just how rapid Kobe Chan's time was. And also that is a real surprise for Yamila, who's now been pushed down into ninth position. I think it's Isaac Gillison that has jumped up ahead of him. So that is a bit of a surprise and not what he wants. Now through turn 9, Peronino, he comes in back up the hill. See if he's going to find any improvement, but trying to find half a second on a short lap is a huge gulf. He may well just kind of not necessarily push too hard on this lap and try again on the next one. Yeah, he's another 8 tenths down. So I suspect he's winding up to give it all or nothing on the final lap.
Yeah, I'm just literally just been called down for dinner at the worst possible moment because we got 50 seconds before this ends and then the race will quickly start. So I'll try and do the first lap and then go for dinner and then come back. I think with the plan is to see Mulo still stuck in 9th position. He cannot find the time and he's running out of it. He's got pressures a little left here. So Dario Mulo is seeing his total hopes become much more difficult unless he's got something up his sleeve for the race. Chan improves ever so slightly, but not enough. It's Chan and Chan, funnily enough.
Yes.
Top two. So definitely not what people expected. Is Michi Hoyer goes third fastest and Sven Gielhed gets into third, but is immediately beaten by the Ferrari of Gillison there. So everybody leaving it late for their big improvements, but Ferrari eSports is sort of best of the rest at the moment.
Absolutely so. Right. Ed, you go do with what you need to do.
Yep, sure thing. I'll be back as soon as I can.
All right, you are. We will welcome you back upon your return. So, Arda Chan. Kobe Chan. I'm muddling up the chans now. Superb effort from Kobe Chan. I'm not surprised he's in the PCs. That no one's getting really that close to his time. There's Yemi Simtic already bowed out of whether he was trying to do a lap or not. Certainly he'll start no higher this time. Let's Dario Yamilo. That's not again. He's losing time. Sectors 6 tenths, 7 tenths down on his previous. He's going to complete the lap anyway for practice. But 10th place and no improvement there. So, oh goodness me! But ironically, he starts behind this man, Fabio Grigoletto. So the Italian, or fellow Italian, not finishing out that. It's just I don't get tired of that roar. As it comes by, I think it was Michi Hoyer's car as it came past. Was that Michi that screamed past us or roared past us? No, it was Urchan, sorry. That thundered past in that Cadillac. But Kobe Chan has got some. There is Michi Hoyer, was on 2 green sectors. I'm curious that he didn't complete the lap. Perhaps he made a mistake in that final sector. Daniele Paranelli is going to complete the lap, improves in time, but not position. Remains in 14th place, does the Italian. So it's Kobe Chan. Oh, Johannes Price did get another lap in and improved to just under half a second behind the absolutely stunning time of Kobe Chan. Bear in mind, Kobe Chan set that quite a few laps ago. So that's a stunning effort. So let's have a look at how the grid will look then. So that's our GT3 contingent, how close that was. So that's Remy Delorme and Niklas Huben starting on the front row of the GT3s. Then Leon Bent and Alexis Herndt, Bent and Herndt on row 2. We're not even a 10th behind that pole time. Now we are with row 3, Thomas Leiden and Patrick Schindler, 3/10 off that top spot. Marin Bessier needs an improvement from there to hold on to the championship for GT3s. He's got Elias Shornack for company on row 4, Mitchell Rodriguez and Niels Klinkmüller on row 5 for the GT3s. And then Clement Arbois rounds out our 11-strong GT3 field for this race. And our hypercar contingent, Kobe Chan, absolutely stunning qualifying lap. But as Ed alluded to, we'll see if he is able to continue that level of pace or pace advantage in the Valkyrie when the wet weather comes. It's almost guaranteed to come down. And to what degree, we are pretty sure it can fall up to heavy rain classification. But when and how quickly it builds up to that, we simply don't know. But Johannes Priest in the Peugeot joins him on the front row. Isaac Gillison, who hasn't featured too many times towards the top end of the field, has his best qualifying of the season with Arda Erchan on alongside him on row 2. Sven Gilherd and Michi Hoyer have row 3. Yone Simicic and Giuseppe Denoya, excuse me, on row 4. Marco De Bono and Fabio Grigoletto. Not where you expect to find the championship leader, by the way, down there on row 5. Dario Yamillo and Christian Bonanni have row 6, and Francesco Damu and Daniele Farinelli round out our hypercar field. 14 hypercars, 11 GT3s will be taking to the what looks like starting dry. Now that we were fairly sure was going to be the case, but we are certain to have some rain. But like we said, we don't know when, and we don't know how heavily it's going to fall. We know what the possibilities are, but that's as much as we know. So then, people in chat, good to have you along for the ride. Making known who are you here to support? Who do you think is going to come out on top for our GT3s and for our hypercars? Who is going to clinch the championship? It's Grigoletto, Yamillo, Simicic, Gilhead, and Erchan in contention for the hypercar title. It's Bessier and Huben for GT3s. Again, bearing in mind that, again, Ed alluded to this, that some people may have gone straight for a wet setup and just become familiar with their cars and potentially sacrificed their qualifying position. Being it's now a long race, that does make sense. And with the wet weather, it does put a bit less strain on fuel management and such. And here we go then. So rolling lap has begun. As always, with a short rolling lap. Good to see you all coming along for the ride for the final race for the Platinum Split. Who is going to be crowned champion? In 1 hour, we will find out. But Kobe Chan, Johannes Price leading the field through turn 14. Everybody will be so nervous. I am, and I'm not even racing. Broad range of colours, broad range of teams represented. I'm a little bit of a sucker for the Falcon colours, and I don't apologise for it either. Around the final turn, then come our field. He's not Kobe Chan can't just nail it now. He has to wait for it to be signalled to go. I'm sure he'd love to get on the throttle and get on with it. Aston and Peugeot on the front. Now the green flag waves. Oh, that was a bit of a wiggle there. That is a challenge for the lead already. My God, we're going 3 wide as we tend to do. Johannes Price is really crowded out. But how is the Aston? The Aston has lost the lead, potentially has been barged off the road.
No! Kobe stands around.
Kobe is spun.
And Delorme's hit him! Delorme's hit him! Absolute chaos.
No.
Oh, and Kobe Chan surely out, and Remy Delorme as well. So all that brilliant work in qualifying for both of them. The two-class pole sitters take each other out.
Oh my goodness! Well, here it is from Remy Delorme. Watch her. So Remy Delorme had a great start. Did not anticipate having an Aston facing him, and then gets collected. Was that the Porsche that collected him?
I think it might have been, yeah. But he tried to cut right to the inside. There wasn't quite enough space to get on the grass and over the curb and avoid Kobe Chan then. So controversial collision between Chan and Chan. Both of them just didn't quite give each other enough space, and it was Kobe Chan that lost out quite badly. The big winner in terms of the championship picture is Grigoletto, who's gotten up to 4th in all of this behind Gillison. So he's ahead of all of his championship rivals apart from Chan, who needs Grigoletto to finish P11 or worse. And that's with Chan out of the race. That's one less position. There's only 13 drivers left, and it's looking like Chan needs something terrible to happen to Grigoletto, really, to stay in sort of realistic contention here. But yeah, certainly all the drama at the start. Meanwhile, Alexis Hearn, was nearly hit by Denoya, is Grigoletto. That was nearly our championship leader taken out with one tiny error there. Through goes Gilhead up to P5 as Denoya now has got Simicic all over the back of him. And Price for company too.
God, Denoya, that could have gone horribly wrong as the 28 car of Dario. That's Dario Yamillo that has come into the pits on the first occasion. Oh dear, is that Denoya that's just been pushed off the road? I think it is, losing another couple of positions.
Simicic gets through. And a little bit of contact with Price as well. They're side by side into Ferradura. That's not ideal for either of them. Can Denoyer hold on up the inside and try and break late, but Price has got the outside. That will become the inside for Pinherino on the infield. And we got, that looks like, is that Banani starting to fight Denoyer as well, trying to demote him another position. Indeed it is. So Christian Banani's had quite a couple of races, all of a sudden coming alive here, and almost getting alongside into Magulio there. Looking, so the BMW just hemorrhaging positions here, Denoyer.
My goodness me, that Peugeot falling, not entirely his own fault, but just qualifying of kings, then the start of disasters for that Peugeot. Such a shame for Johannes Price, but we will see that Arda Erchan. Well, we'll see what the stewards think of that, as Denoyer has a look on the inside of the Peugeot of Johannes Price. They're going to be side by side through the centre S's. He's going to win out with the BMW and the Peugeot. Fend this one out. No, Johannes Price can't hang on to that. He's going to lose another position potentially to Banani in the Ferrari. And we've all, made that, Banani in the Ferrari. We've said that one all season long. But yeah, Johannes Price loses another spot, but we don't know how things are going to change when the wet weather falls. As we now look
I
at...
wonder what tyres Imulo put on in that stop as well, unless he had early damage from the incident we saw at the start. There may have been a second one that we didn't see. But yeah, the big thing here is, even with all that drama, with DeLorme being taken out essentially...
Imulo's out.
Imulo's out. Oh, there we go. That's a 2 in a row that he retires, and that's heartbreaking, because he's had such a strong first season as well. I think it's undoubtable we're going to see Dario Mulo back in season 4, hopefully, because he's had some amazing performances, every bit as good in wheel-to-wheel combat as Fabio Grigoletto, and that's 2 Italian stars that I think are going to be ones to watch very much in the future. But yeah, for Dario, he's going to have to lick his wounds and come back. But what I was about to say is Hearn has got Huben just 3 tenths behind him, and Huben, if he can get into that first position, that is what he needs for the championship, because Bessier is outside the top 5 right now. He's nowhere near getting onto that podium that he needs to seal the title essentially at the moment. So Huben needs to make hay while the sun shines, quite literally. And yeah, Alexis Hearn is the only thing in his way right now.
As Aston versus Mustang, or Aston versus Aston, as I called it earlier.
It's a funny looking Aston that Huben's driving.
Yeah, he's squinting a bit, he'll be fine. Yeah, so Huben then, he knows he's got time to do it. He's not, you can see he's not pushing too hard to try and make the positions, unlike this particular squabble, as that's Marco De Buono now that has gotten past Johannes Price. So again, Price going to have a look at the inside. No, not quite. He tucks in behind Marco De Buono. Let's have a look and see what happened here. Oh, that's Price just touching away on the outside of turn 4. To see the Laraga. They're still sort of side by side. Marco De Buono, nearly takes the nose off the Peugeot as he sweeps through turn 6 up the hill through Ferragura. Oh, what a shame for Johannes Price. Started, had the potential to start so well, but again, like we say, may well be set up more for the wet. A little bit further back, the McLaren of Rodriguez up into 4th. Well, we haven't seen that McLaren too many times towards the sharper end, but when we do, he does tend to really feature well, doesn't he, as Mitchell Rodriguez?
He actually qualified quite well, didn't he? Just outside top 10, took advantage of all the drama at the start, and has really capitalized. Now, speaking of this, we're seeing Michi Hoyer under pressure from Isaac Gillison. So it's Door Falcon eSports versus Ferrari eSports. You can see Geelhead is lining up. Grigoletto in the background, up the inside goes Gillison into turn 4. They're going to go side by side on the run up towards Ferradura, and you can see Grigoletto under attack. So it's the 2 Door eSports cars trying to make a move, and Hoyer retakes. Gillison gets very sideways on the exit of the horseshoe there. So it's very, very frenetic, and this is all playing into Arda Erchan's hands right now. While all of our title contenders fight each other, Erchan is looking to win 2 in a row at the end of this season. Fantastic.
Yeah, very, very true. Now, for Erchan to take the title, he would need Grigoletto to finish in 11th or lower.
He needs a lot of them to start crashing into each other.
Yeah, basically, yes.
And Gillison looks all too ready to comply here. He's got nothing to lose.
Well, you'd be hitting the wrong car if that was the case for Arda Erchan at least. But yeah, Isaac Gillison is very, very punchy against Michi Hoyer, a seasoned veteran in sim racing circles. So, yeah, fair play, Isaac Gillison, to really put Michi Hoyer under pressure. Michi's not had yeah, the most successful season, but certainly looking by this early pace to finish it on a high. So brilliant. Oh, the sudden tail twitch there from Isaac Gillison in the Ferrari. But also, Grigoletto need not do anything. He is quite content to sit there in fourth, even if he loses fifth. He needs to go down to sixth before he needs to start worrying about where Yanis Simoncic is. And Simoncic isn't in the top. It certainly isn't in the top five. Not sure where Yanis Simoncic is at this present moment in time. So Grigoletto is
there. He is P6, right behind.
Right behind.
So we've got three of them all on the line: Grigoletto, Gilhead, and Simoncic. So it was crucial that Fabio Grigoletto held on to P4 to prevent Gilhead from stretching ahead. And of course, the Door eSports drivers could well try and work together for Simoncic's benefit. Maybe that's indeed what Hoyer is trying to do, to back Gillison and Grigoletto into his teammate Gilhead then. So because they're running 1-2 at the moment, Door eSports can afford to sort of control the hypercar race at the moment.
Yeah, well, that would also not taking anything away from that. I'll try the whole sentence again. Not taking anything away from Arda Erchan's. You can tell I haven't commentated for a few weeks. Not taking anything away from Arda Erchan's pace. He's absolutely flying. But if Michi Hoyer is doing exactly as you're saying there, Ed, but Michi Hoyer is not necessarily pushing as hard as he needs to. Yeah, that's right. Gilhead downsides the inside of turn one, and Grigoletto didn't defend it. He didn't need to defend it. Has let the number 3 car through and is down into 5th position. But Grigoletto is still safe at the moment. As I say, he would, if he finishes 6th and Simoncic is 2nd, he still takes that top spot. So, with Yumulo out, that takes a massive pressure off of Fabio Grigoletto.
Yeah, I'm wondering where Bessier is in this race, because I think he must be behind Leon Burnt in 6th somewhere. Yeah, P7, there we go. So he is quite away from that pack in front of him. I wonder if maybe there's some damage he's nursing, because 3.5 seconds to Leon Burnt in 6th. And then Burnt is close to Leiden and Rodriguez. Rodriguez holding on to 4th. And then we've got Schorneck in 3rd, which is the position that Bessier needs so desperately. But he seems so far away from it right now, especially as Huben is slipstreaming the back of Hunt and resuming his assault on the lead and that title-winning position that he himself so desperately needs. So Alexis Hunt, right now, it's Aston Martin solidarity, because he is Marin Bessier's best friend in this title fight right now.
True enough. And we will see if Nicholas Huben makes the challenge. Could well wait for the pit stops to take place before making that challenge. We will see. Time will tell. We look at the McLaren, Argentino Rodriguez, Tomas Leiden in the Lexus behind. And then it is that portion that's again qualified so well that sadly caught up in that early lap 1 fracas that's pushing down. Here's riding on board with Isaac Gillison. You can see braking very, very hard not to slam into the back of the German driver of Michi Hoyer. And then that's the view from Grigoletto.
Yeah, Simoncic has passed him as well as Gilhead. So that's another 2 title contenders ahead. And of course, with Emilio out, that means Grigoletto is at the back of the train, and sort of it's going out of his hands now. He's just got to hope that none of them get into a winning position, essentially.
Indeed, but still the mathematics goes toward Grigoletto's. Oh, now they're catching the black markers, as they are now catching the back of Niels Klinkmüller, the Aston Martin. Just, this is always the most scary time for the GT3s. The first lap that the hypercars go past, the hypercars still very heavily bunched together. That's 2nd to 6th, or 2nd to 7th now, in that big collection there. As we look at a replay of what's just happened to Neuer. Well, we're looking at Grigoletto currently. What has happened here?
I think it's just that moment we saw, isn't it?
Oh,
big lock up for Grigoletto. So lucky he didn't hit the Aston there, because that could have been title number 2 hanging by a thread in that moment. As still, it's continued to be sketchy. And I think, of course, as you said, it's been a while since the previous race, so all the hypercars just getting the hang of trying to lap the GT3s, and the GT3s themselves trying to make sure they don't lose ground in their own race while they are being lapped. And this is especially crucial period now for Huben, as he seeks to capitalize and pass Alexis Hunt for the lead. And Alexis Hunt, yet to win this season, is so cruelly robbed of the podium, wasn't he, at death in Spa, and he wants to take ultimate honours. He doesn't really care about Hubin's title chances. He's got no incentive to help him, as we see yellow flag somewhere out on circuit there. And I think it's Gillison. Gillison's dropped behind Gilhead. Was
Rodriguez.
that Grigoletto? I think it was off track there. So Rodriguez and Grigoletto, I think, come together.
Well, let's have a look. There's the McLaren.
There he is.
Yeah, well spotted. So the McLaren just had a bit of an oversteer moment. That is absolute disaster. Well, the maths was working for Grigoletto, but no permutation saw him down in 12th. Oh dear. So
and that means Erchan now is in a position provisionally he can win this championship if Grigoletto is stuck down there, especially if he's got huge damage. So what a gift to Arda Erchan.
Well, the only thing that will Simicic, I think, has to finish second to stop that, because
I'm not sure he can. I think
that's the thing, isn't it? He would have to finish in second.
So Erchan wins if he finishes P1, Grigoletto P11, but never mind that. Look at this, Gillison has to keep Simicic back now, so Yerne is trying to keep his own chances alive, and Isaac Gillison, having lost out to Sven Gielhed, it's now a Door Esports 1-2-3, incredibly, much to the Ferrari and RAF Esports' frustration here. But yeah, Yerne is not the giving up kind, and I think we're about to see that in full effect here as they all fight like rats in a sack, is one of my favorite sayings, and I think the rats are about to do battle.
I've not heard that one. Oh, that's quite a cool phrase.
I need to keep using it then.
So, I mean, again, so Yerne Simicic, as mentioned, is one of the drivers in contention. So Yerne Simicic would have to finish P2, as we see
Rodriguez pitting for repairs, I think, after the collision with Grigoletto. Grigoletto could be damaged as well.
Well, I would think he was.
I think even if Adamu lets him through, that P11 would still not be enough. He needs P10, doesn't he, if Chan wins and the others can't get onto the podium. But Gielhead P3, what's that going to do for him, I wonder, in the scheme of things?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Grigoletto would have to finish inside the top 10 to deny Arda Erchan, and Arda Erchan will get the title if Yerne Simicic does not get into the top 2, which, I mean, look at the cars ahead of him. That's quite a tall order. So, yeah, no disrespect to Yerne Simicic, or indeed any of the drivers in this split, let's be honest. But, you know, when you're looking at the mountain and you're realistically thinking, I've only got 45 minutes to climb that. However, again, as mentioned, we are fairly sure that wet weather is going to play a part in this race. The percentage is very high, but we don't know when and we don't know how badly. So those that have gone for a more wet favoured setup may still come through if the wet weather arrives early enough and rains heavy enough for their setup to come good. We could still see. It
could be that all this has been caused by everybody on wet weather setups on a bone dry track. And that's why I've seen so much chaos. What I will say, last thing about the Rodriguez Grigoletto collision is, it looked to me like Rodriguez lost it, and then Grigoletto didn't really have a whole lot of time to react in the middle of Ferradura. So it's just unfortunate all around. I really hope Rodriguez doesn't get too much flack for that one, because it's the sort of thing, when you're fighting for position P4 like Rodriguez was, it can so easily happen. That's, of course, benefited that battle we were just looking at, because that's put Leiden up to 4th, Burnt up to 5th, and, crucially, Bessier up to 6th then. So he's one position further up, but it's not going to be enough as things stand then. As you can see, Huben really desperate for the lead here, and Alexis Herndt has defended brilliantly in his first 17 minutes, but how much longer can he hold on? Because Huben is just absolutely relentless right now. So Herndt immediately gets to the inside to stop him going through, but Huben late round the outside, he's trying to put off the number 5 Aston Martin Vantage, but again, Alexis Herndt is able to get on the acceleration early enough and controlling things from the front. Keep an eye on those windscreen wipers, by the way, because if the rain arrives, that will be the first indication that the track is about to get very wet and slippery very quickly.
Yeah, very true. Now, I think Nicholas Huben could well have been biding his time for the first quarter of the race, but as we quite clearly saw coming into turn 1, he is biding his time no more. As we check back in with our hypercar front runners, well, minus Arda Erchan, he is clocked out very much up front. So we are currently centered on Isaac Gillison, who's behind Sven Gielhead, who is in turn behind Michi Hoyer. So Michi Hoyer is leading this particular train in the BMW. Then this Cadillac of Sven Geelhead. Isaac Gillison. Oh,
look at
that's
this.
side by side. Shorneck and Leiden having an argument. Aston Martin versus Lexus. But it's Thomas Leiden holds on the fourth. Oh, flash of the lights there from Elliot Shorneck. Not happy about that.
And Price is out as
Price.
well. But yeah, Shorneck lost 2 positions because Byrne passed both him and Leiden in one fell swoop. As here we go, Price is behind Marco Di Buono in the Alpine on the run through speeders, does boxes and gets disconnected. So that is cruel. But yeah, certainly was good at least to celebrate his gold championship. Because now look at this, Geelhead all over the back of Michi Hoyer. And for the sake of Geelhead's title chances, Hoyer might want to let him through, but Erchan,
no, that's Hoyer in third.
It is, okay, he has let him through. So there we go, they've just done it before he cut the ball. And Hoyer gets a tap in the back from Isaac Gillison to say, remember, I'm here too. You don't want to lose that position, do you? Although I appreciate it if you don't have it. But nonetheless, yeah, that was well judged from Dora Esports then to give Geelhead a good chance of at least closing on his teammate. I think essentially those two fighting for the win and fighting for the championship. Now there, Gillison just lost it right behind in the wake. Ferradura proving to be a tough corner on this circuit then is here. We're about to see actually Hoopen has just snatched the lead from Alexis Hearn. So he was closing in lap after lap after lap. He gets the run out of Curva del Sol, down the Red Imposter. Hunt defends. The grunt of the Mustang launches him around the outside. And is it just a case of Hoopen out breaking him? Wonderful move there. And so important for the championship because that puts Hoopen now in a position to win it unless Bessier can find something.
Yeah, but Hearn's not letting him run off into the sunset. That Aston Martin is glued to the back of the Mustang for the time being. 41 minutes remain, so still plenty of time for things to change. As Rodriguez, I did wonder if he'd retire the McLaren, but he has started to come back out on track. Fair play. There he is. So through the pits for whatever repairs is needed. The impact wasn't particularly huge between them, so he may well not have had too much to deal with. But look at the gap between Hoyer and Geelhead already. So Michi Hoyer is... there's a slide from Gillison! Can Yanni Simicic capitalize on it again? That is really crucial for Yanni Simicic's championship title. And he banzais the inside, coming up to Bigger the Pato. Gets a bit of a nudge on the Ferrari. They're going to be side by side now through Mugello. Can Gillison hold off the advances of the Slovenian? Oh, just about, but only just. Yanni Simicic is pushed back down into 5th.
Yeah, he's still going to get a good run through speed of those boxes here. But yeah, the BMW versus the Ferrari then, and you can tell Yerne can see Geelhead and Hoyer disappearing up the road in front of him as we look at from on board. Denoyer, oh, very aggressive defending from Gillison, but it looks like Yerne Simicic is not about to back at any time. A bit more contact into the first corner of the center S, and it's Yerne Simicic has got the apex, forces Gillison wide, almost onto the curb, and now he's going to have to complete the move around the outside as Denoyer is going to get a slingshot past Gillison as well, and this could get very messy. Onto the grass goes Giuseppe Denoyer, and one BMW goes through. Can he make it through Yerne Simicic? Yes, he can, and that just about keeps his hopes realistically in play here. But what I was going to say before this is we see another attempt from Denoyer around the outside at Ferradura, and he's going to go wide, a little bit offline in the process. Grigolotto up to P10. So if Grigolotto is P10, Erchan cannot win the championship in the drivers. So our Dora Esports going to have to make a difficult call and let Geelhead through as well here, because Geelhead can win if Grigolotto is P8 or worse. So as long as he doesn't catch to Banani, then De Buono is part of the same team, so 9th place you would think Grigolotto wouldn't have to fight too hard. But yeah, 6 seconds down, so it's a matter of do they let Geelhead through or do they let things play out with that 11-second buffer? Would Arda Erchan come to a dead stop before the finish line to let Geelhead win the Drivers' Championship? I'm not so sure he would, even with that Dora Esports contract saying, well, whoever has the best chance, you've got to help him out.
I would certainly hope not, certainly from a spectator standpoint, but we will see what the team chooses to do as we ride on board with Giuseppe Denoyer and his continued chase of Isaac Gillison, as we are now running past one of the back marker GT3s. Oh,
that's Bessier.
Oh, good Marin Bessier. Oh, we did not make a friend on that occasion, and I don't think Marin Bessier is going to be on Denoyer's Christmas card list.
Oh, and I've actually just been corrected. Erchan can win if Grigoletto is P10 because Ercan would have 2 wins to Grigoletto's 1, which was in Portimao at the start of the season. So they'd both be equal on 74 points, but it would be Ercan. So it really is about whether Grigoletto can catch up to De Bueno then. That's the crucial moment in terms of the points up front. But yeah, Simičić knows if he can get into P2, then he can maybe win it himself.
True, but he's 3 seconds behind the ever-charging Geelhead, who hasn't really made any inroads into
and he's got
Ercan.
Michi in between them as well.
Yeah, so yeah, not least of all, Michi Hoyer in the way as they are now screaming past the 21 Aston of Niels Klinkmüller, who has had a comparatively quiet race compared to the rest of the field, but yeah, still hanging on in there and turning the laps. As we see De Nooijer getting close to the back of Isaac Gillison once more. But, I mean, Isaac Gillison's got to be feeling a little bit sorry for himself. You know, the position he was in. Oh, got a yellow flag potentially, so someone's had a bit of an off-track excursion somewhere.
Well, that's it. I think, is it Alexis Hearn?
Hearns.
Yeah, a little bit of connection issues as he tries to chase down Hoopen, and you do sense here Hoopen is tightening his grip. Is all he has to let. That looks like is that Sven Geelhead or Michi Hoyer through there? It is Geelhead. It is Sven, yeah. Okay, yeah, I was trying to see what number it was. But yeah.
No, it's Ercan. That's our leader.
It is Arda, yeah, it's 101.
Yeah.
Sorry, it is Arda, yeah, sorry. I thought it was 10, which was Michi.
That's the only downside
there
of the
there he is, there's Sven.
Yes. So many of the Falcon liveries, and don't get me wrong, like I said, I love that livery, but there's so many of them. There's now.
Well, it's the fact that they're all running at the front in the top 3 positions now. They're quite literally controlling this road. Well, I mean, look at Ercan, he's about as spread out as it can be at the moment.
Yeah.
Well, the Geelhead has taken
enough.
about a second out of him. So he's certainly not giving up. At the moment, no team orders in play, but it's really going to be critical whether anybody in the mid-pack here, say Bernani, Farinelli, hits trouble, because that could hand Grigoletto a position to take Ercan out of points contention here. So at the moment, Ardo's doing everything right, but it's kind of out of his hands at the moment.
Yeah, he's just got to let the dice roll. I mean, it was always a long shot for Arda Ercan, but what a story that would be from 5th to 1st in the final round.
Well, I think he was even further back going into Spa as well. He only had that one second place from Sebring. Yeah, I think that was only his only big result up to that point.
God, talk about scoring the points when it absolutely matters, but yeah, you can't deny that Arda Ercan has certainly got the.
And there's Grigoletto risking it as he passes Marin Bessier. So Grigoletto and Bessier might give a sigh of sympathy because they're both in a similar situation, aren't they? Trying to make up ground to keep that ever precious championship lead that is looking more and more precarious here.
So we are looking from on board with Bessier. Oh,
left just enough room, but not a cigarette paper more than was needed.
No, a few pixels width for Grigoletto to squeeze through that particular gap. As we are looking at, once again, we're looking at Giuseppe De Nooijer in the 6th place BMW, chasing Isaac Gillison in the 5th place Ferrari, who in turn is still just about hanging on to the back of Michi Hoyer, who's now down into... Oh, sorry, it's Yoni Simičić that is the next one in line. Here comes De Nooijer.
That's bold, trying to go around the outside.
BMW goes to the outside line. I don't know whether he bailed on that, but certainly a statement of intent there from the Italian against Isaac Gillison. We'll see if he's able to remount that particular charge. So someone dumped the battery to try and do it. Hasn't lost him a couple of tenths though on the Ferrari.
This is a interesting little battle there between Gillison and De Nooijer. De Nooijer's actually been quite impressive last couple of rounds. As we see Hearn, his internet seems to have got back under control, and he's closed almost back within a second of Hoopen then, I think, as they've been a little bit affected by some of the hypercars coming through to lap them. There is Grigoletto desperately trying to get up into P9 to take Arda Ercan off the list of threats here. He's got 3 seconds on Adami, but what's the gap in front of him? Must still be about 6 seconds or so to Marco De Bueno, I think.
Still have half the race to run. Let's see.
Marco has gotten out of the way for Grigoletto before, I think back to Qatar last season as well, quite memorably. So,
well, yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a fair, even if he doesn't, I don't, considering what... Oh! Oh wow, there was ever decreasing room there for Grigoletto, but of course that's not full position, so he would have been okay
I think
to.
he just didn't want to lose any more time after everything
No.
that's happened in this race. He's taking more and more risks. And speaking of taking risks, Bernani starting to give Farinelli a bit of a hard time. So Farinelli, I think, has been able to hold off Bernani quite convincingly. This seems to be a race that really favours the Daytona prototypes a little bit more than the Ferrari so far. You've got your Cadillacs of Erchan and Gilhead 1 and 2. Hoyer, I think, is the highest Ferrari. Then we've got Simičić in the BMW, and then, of course, Gillison in his Ferrari as well. So all of our top drivers are finding their way to the front, as you see. Actually, no, Hoyer is in the BMW. I'm staying completely corrected by Nicolas Domino there. As look at this, Dinoy continuing to harass at the back of Gillison at the moment. But yeah, at the moment, the fairy tale for Arda Erchan is still intact. It's all going to depend on Di Buono and Simičić and Gilhead then. Gilhead not gaining on Erchan at this present moment. Erchan started to extend out the gap again. So Door Esports, I think, have decided, let's not do any team orders unless we absolutely have to.
I mean, from the form we've seen, there's nothing is touching Arda Erchan. It's not like he's dumped the battery either. Look at the numbers. I mean, Johannes Price having the early pit stop, that's why his virtual energy percentage is a bit higher than everybody else's.
I thought Price retired. Yeah, there he is, still in the garage. And no wonder he's not been using virtual energy.
Okay, so he's just parked it, but not deemed a retirement. So, but yeah, so Arda Erchan has just had the pace, had the pace advantage. Maybe he knows a different version of the circuit that nobody else does. By the way, it's not burnt the battery down to an unreasonable degree. It is very much advantage Arda for now, but still have half the race to run.
And that tells us something as well, that nobody is trying to go all the way to the end on a non-stop. They were all banking on the rain. And anybody that's smart here, like say like De Nooijer, for instance, has got 43%, a few percentage more than everyone else. If he's clever, he might try and eke it out and get to the end. But it really depends. The pace that they're driving, it could be difficult to get to the end without the fuel tank completely expiring on them.
Well, we still have half the race to run, and no one has got 50% in the tank, so that can't happen. That is, and there are penalties.
It's an uphill, but it's an uphill struggle. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that would be some serious fuel saving going on, and there are quite draconian penalties for any of the hypercars that run their virtual energy down to zero. So the top three of our GT3s, as we're looking at the moment, Hubin and Bernd, are fairly equidistant. Thomas Schleider not too far behind.
Bernd's recovered well in this race, hasn't he?
Because he has.
He's been able to slowly work his way up, stay out of the drama at the start, and now he's legitimately on the podium. And the man with a similar name, but a different first letter in the name, in terms of the surname, Herndt, is going to feel Bernd breathing down his neck anytime soon. And could Leon Bernd now be the main threat to Hubin if he can clear Alexis Herndt in that Aston Martin quickly here? Because we know Bernd has got serious pace. Hubin's not exactly broken away here. So as far as Marin Bessier is concerned, I think it still could potentially be on here with half the race to go.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Leon Bernd's just been nibbling away at the gap.
Yeah, maybe he's received a check mid-race from Marin Bessier in the post.
Well, we will see as we see the glowing brightness on the Porsche coming into the center S's and down through Curva de Sol. Not leaving really a lot on the table, is he? He's pushing that Porsche quite hard. Yanni Simičić in fourth. And as I said before, these two have crossed swords so many times in the past, Michi Hoyer and Yanni Simičić. Here we are once again. So let's see what they're able to do. Michi Hoyer holding on to that last podium position for now. Simičić needs a little bit more assistance if he is going to challenge for the top spot. He would have to. Well, we know Grigoletto is somewhere down the order at the moment.
Simičić minimum he needs is P2.
Grigoletto
P9 or worse, which is happening at the moment, of course. And he would need Gilhead behind him in P2. Well, they can't both be P2, so Gilhead would need to be third. So he does need to pass Hoyer and then Gilhead to win this championship.
Yep, and at the moment there's not a challenge from Yanni Simičić, but again could be still playing the waiting game a little bit more. But at the moment doesn't look like he's able to close in enough on Michi Hoyer. But even if he is playing the waiting game, Michi Hoyer is falling off the back of Sven Gilhead, so it's not a strategy that is going to pay dividends if that is what he's doing. Unless he is really banking on the way where they're getting involved.
You've got to feel a bit for Michi, because I think he probably had a good chance of holding on to P2 and fighting Gilhead legitimately, and he's sort of decided to play the team game. In fact, very much so, because he is essentially trying to hold up Yene, but because they know each other very, very well, they're definitely going to play as fair as possible. But yeah, Michi's got zero incentive to just open the door for his championship rivals. Marin Bessier leaves just enough room for them both to nip through, so Marin is definitely trying not to lose any time, but yeah, he's certainly had a few close calls so far in this race. But I guess down in with the drop score in 4th place to his favour, he's sort of got nothing to lose here at this moment.
That was Clement Arbois that was
Arbois, sorry, his team
that was trying to breathe in and make his acting that little bit narrower. That I think it might.
That was Arbois, because we just saw Bessier, didn't we?
Yes, indeed. So, Denoya is pushing Isaac Gillison again as they come down towards turn 4. BMW. Oh, bounces off the side of the Ferrari, and it wasn't really a move. He hadn't gone alongside enough to really make that corner his own. You see it again. We're right on board with the BMW. You see, he gets the slipstream, gets the overspeed, and Isaac Gillison, of course, nails himself to that inside line, but there's not enough overlap there. He just turns in probably more than he intended to, or Isaac Gillison just washed out slightly more than Denoya was expecting. Where's Denoya gone? Oh, there. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
he is still there.
That's where it is.
Sorry, I was wondering where Gillison went, but he was just slightly out of shot. There is Michi Hoyer still with Yene Simoncic very large in his mirrors. So Slovenian driver yet to get into a position where he can really challenge for that podium spot. There is the wipers are going, so rain is coming.
And this could completely turn everything on its head here, especially if you're Grigoletto. Do you risk it and go for the wets here? Similar for Marin Bessier, do you try and get the jump on everyone else and hope that everyone else just spears off track? If it's heavy rain, then you may not have a lot of time to respond and make up your mind here before the track becomes an ice rink here. So this is absolutely crucial. These last 25 minutes are going to be spine-tingling stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So it all depends on how quickly the rain comes down now. Now, we've got no indication up here. It might look worse or look better than it actually is. These guys are obviously out there fighting for what grip that is going to be diminishing every single corner. So, as proven by Isaac Gillison losing the tail of the Ferrari, nearly losing the tail of the Ferrari, only just, well, not really shutting the door on Giuseppe Denoya, but they're both slithering around. Denoya still hasn't managed to get past Isaac Gillison. The Ferrari's defense still holding strong.
Yeah, Gillison was trying to defend the inside right as he was making a mistake. He immediately goes full lock to the right almost in Ferradura. There's one tap. There's tap number 2 up the inside as they approach Pinarino, and then a little side slam as well. So yeah, Gillison very much getting his elbows out, and having been shuffled back by Simoncic and Hoyer early in the race. Gilhead, I think it was actually. He's definitely not keen to drop out of the top 5. So good to see Isaac Gillison giving Denoya a quite physical fight there, although not getting too dirty just yet, as we see Michi Hoyer under a bit of pressure from Simoncic. And could this be where we learn which BMW is set up for the wet and which one isn't? Because Yene just seems that little bit more confident as the group starts to decrease here. Meanwhile, Leon Burt is all over the back of Alexis Hunt in the fight for P2 in GD3, but Hoopen is pulling away 2.5 seconds then, which is exactly what he needs to do, because he knows Burnt could be coming for him, especially if the track gets worse and worse and worse here. Yeah,
that's the thing, isn't it? It's all gamble now. It's all down to who's had their bravery pills, because we can see from this particular show, you can actually see the raindrops falling, but that's not necessarily indicative of how bad it's getting. And look at that!
Gilhead being held up.
Yeah, the Leon Baird just could not get that Porsche to bite. We are getting very close now to the pit lane becoming very, very busy, but everyone is going to want to come in at the same time. So this is, all bets are off. Well, I mean, Ardo Erchan has done exactly what he needed to do. He built that early lead, now 14 seconds over Sven Gilhead, but it's just going to be down to when. It is that all-important crossover point. When you get off your slick tyres. And again, that is assuming this rain carries on the way it is. We're fairly sure it will, because we've been told that the percentage of it becoming very heavy. And look at the windscreen wipers starting to get really, really busy now. So I think we're going to be in the next few laps, 3 to 4 laps maybe, is when people are going to start really thinking about getting off these soft tyres. Soft tyres? Oh, slick tyres, sorry.
It could be softs, you don't know.
Could be. I'd be surprised.
Yeah, probably mediums and hards, I would expect. But going back to that, what we were just seeing there, Farinelli is actually starting to back the pack because he's been backing De Buono and Bernani. As Bernani actually just holds off De Buono there. All of them fighting each other is playing into Grigoletto's hands there and helping him catch back up, because he needs essentially that 8th position, doesn't he? As we see first driver into the pits, it is Clement Arbois, who was at the near the back of the top 10 in GT3. So worth taking the gamble, I think, for him. This could work out nicely for him.
Yeah, I fully agree. He had nothing to lose. He was already at the tail end of the field. But, you know, if he was already set up for the way, oh, is that Farinelli? That's Farinelli. No, sorry, Bernani challenging Farinelli. So they're still side by side, the BMW with the inside line. Bernani is just keeping his car.
Oh, and Erchan pits from the lead. Oh, as Bernani gets well over the curb at Magulio and somehow finds a tiny gap through, and Farinelli is finally dispatched with, as there's a Lexus in the way at the wrong time. In comes Erchan, in comes Geelhead, and Bernani nearly cuts off the front of Farinelli. And they're all coming in. You called it exactly right, Chris.
Yeah, here we go. The pit lane's got very busy, but you've got to think the GT3s want to come in as well. Oh, and that's Farinelli that's throwing the dice for another lap. So, well, Farinelli is going to lead the race for a period of time. Look at this! You never see the hypercars and the GT3s coming at once. So this is fantastic. Out comes Erchan. So, I mean, in theory, they should come out broadly the same position they went in.
This could be tricky for Hoopen.
Oh, that's what I was about to say. Is as soon as they get released is when the problem starts. Because that
was Hoyer and Simičić, I think, being released into the path of each other.
Now, who's ahead of them? So it's Erchan from Geelhead, from Hoyer, from Simičić. So that order is still the same. Only with
Geelhead's
Farinelli
lost a few seconds there, being held up, I think.
With Farinelli, well, how's this going to play out for Farinelli then? Because he's not thrown it off the road.
And Bessier's also stayed out as well, so he's jumped Hoopen, but he's on the wrong tyres now for these conditions.
Yeah. I mean, in a way.
Oh, and he's holding up Hoyer too. Oh dear.
Well, he's just kind of wrong place, wrong time. He's not doing anything wrong. And again, he left the inside line open.
I think Mitchie might have a different opinion, but yeah.
I imagine he will have a different opinion. But
he may not know what tyres Bessier was on, though.
Yeah, and equally, I mean, there was no malice act there from him, Bessier. He was just,
Marin is coasting around. Hoopen is going to maybe even pass him before he gets to the pit lane here.
Oh, yeah, you can just see it's getting very uncomfortable for those that have gone that extra lap. I mean, look at the time gap between Erchan rather than Farinelli. Well, there is the BMW. He kept his foot in it. I mean, I'll grant him that. He led the way for a period of time.
It's less of a gamble, A, because it's such a short lap, and B, the hypercar's a lot faster than the GT3, so Bessier is going to have to crawl around because he's got less grip to begin with anyway, whereas Farinelli, I think, may not lose out too much. He'll get undercut a bit, but he won't be quite as bad as Bessier there. But for Marin, he sort of was out of options.
Yeah, he's losing.
Look at Yene all over the back of Michi Hoyer. This is absolutely crucial. Yene has still got a chance here as they get past Farinelli easily. Late up the inside into the center S. Michi Hoyer tries to close the door. A little bit of contact. Hoyer's going to try and keep his foot in. Nearly loses the back end there. They're side by side, and it's Yene Simičić that forces his way through neatly, tightly, cleanly, and he had to do that. These wet conditions are absolutely starting to play into his hands. Now just 2.8 seconds to Geelhead, and that's the position he needs to win this championship. So we got 3 title contenders all in the top 3 now, and it's anybody's game. But where is Grigoletto in all of this? He needs that P8. Where is he at the moment?
Well, De Buono's in that P8.
He's down to P10.
So
Farinelli's pit's come out still ahead of him.
So that, well, yeah. Was Farinelli's, was Farinelli ahead of Grigoletto?
Farinelli stayed out the extra lap. Yeah, I think he was ahead, but he's only lost position to Bernani and De Buono. Bernani had just overtaken him anyway, so it's really only 1 place lost for Farinelli. So 2 seconds. Like I said, it's not as bad as it could have been. I think Marin Bessier is probably not in a particularly worse position because I think he was going to be P6 no matter what, essentially, whether he pit the same lap or stayed out the extra one. But yeah, certainly when you're in that position, Marin Bessier nothing to lose, whereas Grigoletto here has quite a lot to lose at this phase and needs to find a way through. There is Marin, and he's still stayed out, and around the outside comes Hoopen then. As you can see,
I can't
Bessier, nearly hits the back of his championship rival there. But this is a difficult strategy, and Marin Bessier's got to call this quits because that's just going to be like driving on ice.
Yeah, is he hoping the rain's going to stop? Oh, there goes the tail. Well, hell, sir. But look at the chaos he's causing. That's Francesco Ganu that had to fly off circuit to avoid the sliding Aston Martin. There goes
Rodriguez unlapping himself.
Yeah,
so that's how much he's struggling.
Surely Bessier is going to come in now, unless he's just deciding to rally across the rest of the race. He's not. Is he coming in? Yes, he is coming in. I thought for a second he was staying out again.
Yeah, staying out the first lap, I could kind of understand. The second one felt a bit desperate to me. Like he was saying, maybe the rain will stop. Well, it's not stopping, Marin.
No. I think that was a gamble too far for Marin Bessier. But I mean, he's going to have to hope that Hoopen does not win the GT3. That's the only hope that Marin Bessier now has.
Oh, yellow flag somewhere out there. Clears quickly as we watch Di Bueno closing on Bernani, and yet it is Bessier still being serviced. Finally, the blue-walled wet tyres being put on the Aston Martin there, but is it too late, really? Again, it's out of his hands. He needs Burnt or Hunt to make an impact on Hoopen at the front there, and he tried to hold up Hoopen as best he could. I think maybe that was his only strategy, really.
Maybe. Grigoletto, I don't know that he's gaining on Farinelli. I think Grigoletto's not gaining on 9th place, let alone the 8th place he needs. So Grigoletto, it's not impossible that he is out of contention, but Sven Gilhead can still upset. I mean, anything is still possible. Outer Erchan still with over 12 seconds, bordered on 13 seconds now, lead up front.
If anything, he's got even more confident now the rain's fallen. Of course, because he was first in the pits, he wasn't really held up by anybody on the exit there.
Wow, but what a I love a long shot. I love an underdog, and so yeah, this would be just a fairy tale ending for the season for Arthur Erchan. Didn't necessarily start the season in as strong a form. It looked like it was going to be the Grigoletto show, but suddenly the second half of the season was all completely changed.
Indeed, it has, and I think Sven Gilhead has been a little bit unlucky. Remember, he got disconnected in Qatar while fighting for the podium as well. So I think there are a number of drivers with hard luck stories, not least Dario Muda, who we lost early in the race. But I have got some information from Nicolas Domino who says Grigoletto might have forgotten to take repairs off during his pit stop. So he might have lost a bit of time repairing the car after the contact with Rodriguez. And that's why he's been struggling to make up that ground. So it's always a gamble, isn't it? And I think maybe in his rush to get back to the pits, he potentially has had a longer stop because he's suspected to have to make the early extra stop compared to everybody else that he was fighting with. So that's why he's a bit further down on top of everything else.
I mean, equally, he may not have had a choice. He could have been the damage was, he had to fix the damage in the hope of gaining any additional pace, but it's not paid off for him yet. It's still got another quarter of the race to go, or slightly less than that now.
Look at Simic right behind Gila. This is the crucial battle now. As you see, Bessier has actually been undercut by Arbois. So Arbois was the first to pit for wets, and Bessier very much the last to do so. So that really illustrates the difference because they were miles apart before that moment, and that really shows you the spanner in the works that the rain has put into this situation. Hoyer is starting to disappear into the background here, so Gilhead goes off track at turn 4. A crucial mistake there, and Gilhead now is the one that's got to defend to keep his teammate Erchan in championship contention here. If Simic gets into P2, then that's going to be his championship unless Grigoletto can get into P8 somehow.
If the win is not on the cards for Sven Gilhead, then the championship isn't there. So he's got to do the rear gunner role now against Yannis Simicic, and that is a hard position to be in. Richie Hoyer is not in a position to challenge just yet. That's what Sven Gilhead could really do with some help from his fellow Falcon livery car, but he's going to have to hold Yannis Simicic back to close in that 1.8 seconds between Simicic and Hoyer. And I do not envy Sven Gilhead right now. He must be feeling like the world is on his shoulders and Yuri Simoncic has just got to throw caution to the wind. You know, finishing second is still an option for him. Rigoletto is down out, it's below 9th place, but it's basically in the hands of Gilhead and Simoncic at the moment as to whether Arda Ercan gets the championship title, which is such a strange sentence to say, but with the championship connotations as they are, as they work their way around, that was Klinkman, I think.
Oh
Yes.
Not leaving any more space than absolutely necessary. So Nils got a bit spooked there by the BMW appearing. Here comes another one out of the gloom. But
that's Michi Hoyer. It's just got past. This is on board then with Niels Klinkmuller. So this is how it feels when your car is already sliding around. Suddenly you've got hypercar front runners. Oh, pixels width between his car and the but no contact between any of them. So fair play to all drivers involved.
I mean, there was a little bit of contact between Simoncic and Gilhead. I think Gilhead just broke that slightly earlier to make sure he had a bit of time to react to the Lexus in front of him. Here's that second place fight. It looks like Huben started to lose a little bit of time to Hurton, who's win 1.4 seconds again. So Alexis Hurton, fair play to him. He is not giving up whatsoever, and Leon Burnt continuing to harass him. So which of these cars is best in the wet in Interlagos? Is it going to be the Mustang, the Aston, or the Porsche? It's anyone's guess.
Such different cars, wildly different cars, but all delivering a similar lap pace. Yeah, over the course of a very, very slippery. And look at the spray. The rain is absolutely hammering it down. The spray is getting very, very thick. So
he's laying it on thick here as well. He's very close to the back of Sven Gilhead here. Can Gilhead get to the middle of the road in time? Yes, he can, but Simoncic finds a tiny gap up the inside. Can he make this work? This is for the championship. Oh, he forces Gilhead wide, and Simoncic is through into the second place that he needs. If he can just get on the curb, the rear's spinning like crazy, and now he just needs to hold on down the Red Raposta here, using any of his virtual energy if he's got it to spare here. 11 minutes to go, and Yevgeny Simoncic, who's always been the bridesmaid in the Platinum Split, can now maybe see that there's a chance to win this if he can just hold on to P2 there. And he's really had to fight to get into that position against a very strong Door eSports team.
Yeah, very, very true. As we now look at the still continuing battle between Giuseppe Di Noia and Isaac Gillison. They were the other way around when they were mainly fighting before the pit stops. Now the Ferrari finds itself chasing the BMW. As we saw, I mean, it was here. Oh, there's impact between the two. Yeah, Gillison bows out of that when he realizes that was his mistake. Flash of the lights there, an apology. Fair play from Isaac Gillison there. Went too deep into Larangina and backs out of that one. No, thankfully, no harm, no foul between these two, but they continue their battle. Oh, that's very deep for Isaac Gillison going up into Pico de Pato. The grip is just vanishing, as well as displayed by a very slidey Alexis Hurton.
Oh, it's getting worse, these conditions.
It so much is. There's standing water all over the place. Leon Bent pressuring hard in the Porsche. This is what I was saying. A flash of the lights there from Leon Bent. Yeah, this is what I'm saying is that the grip is going to change lap on lap on laps. And these drivers are all just completely driving on their wits now. They've just got to be so alert to any twitch, to any sudden change in direction their car didn't do on the previous lap.
Yeah, Simoncic should be calling for a red flag now. This is real life. But where is Grigoletto? Still down in P10. Still there 10? We go. It's P9 or worse that Yerne needs at the moment for Grigoletto. And there is Farinelli then. So, yeah, he can afford, if he passes Farinelli, Simoncic would still be in it by, I think, 1 point.
I think it would be a single point, yeah.
Yeah, 76 versus 75. And I think also we would have Ercan on 74. So 1 point separating our top three.
Wow. 6 races and it all comes down to this. Yeah. Well, this being the 6th. So,
yep.
Again, but that just shows the quality of the brilliant racing we've had all season long. It's just been absolutely nail-biting. And I said earlier on that the first 3 races of the season, it looked like it was going to be the Grigoletto show for hypercars, and look at us now. Yeah, Grigoletto's not even, he needs to get on with it, and he's running out of time to get on with it. And this is the man that was running away with the championship at one point.
Yeah, he made one tiny mistake with Rodriguez, and it's had massive consequences on his race there.
Yeah.
This is a replay of Oh, Farinelli and Grigoletto there. So Grigoletto's gone round the outside, almost off track at Ferradura and up into 9th place there. I wonder if Farinelli, who is a former teammate, I'm not sure if he's still part of Tatum Esports or not, but definitely didn't look like he made that one particularly difficult there. So certainly we're getting to crunch time here. Who is P8 at the moment? Because that's the crucial one here.
We will
it's De Bueno. Oh, of course. So this is going to be tense then. Oh, it's the rear that Alpine absolutely sliding into turn 1. And is he going to, I don't want to say stage a mistake, but he certainly made one. And that's going to give Grigoletto a bit of a chance here as, will De Bueno consider giving the championship here to, he's done this before, hasn't he? And certainly he's had a lot of bad luck this season, De Bueno. I think he was very unlucky not to win in Qatar despite crossing the line first. So I don't know what they're going to do here. I think they could leave this to the very final lap here, but that P8 is the crucial position here, unless Simičić can somehow inherit victory, in which case he would need Grigoletto sick for worse.
Oh God, everybody is. This is so tense. This is so nail-biting, much like the other championship that happened somewhere in the world earlier today. That came
certainly,
down to...
we got 2 races to worry about first off, and it's a bit more dramatic in terms of the rain, adding a bit of a spanner to the mix.
True.
Oh, look at this burn right up the back of Alexis Hunt here. The blue and yellow BMW, the rear windscreen wipers working overtime as well to keep Leon Burnt behind. The Porsche's got the run. He's not going to be quite enough alongside, I think, to launch it all the way around, but he's going to give it a go. The brakes sliding up at the rear. Oh, he's got it. There we go. Alexis Hunt has to yield, but is he going to be able to compromise the Porsche's exit? They're still side by side, and Hunt squeezes his way back around the outside. Fantastic from the German to refuse to give up there.
Oh, me of little faith. I thought that one was done and dusted, but Alexis Hunt just said, denied, sir, and just perfectly positioned his car around Curva de Sol to reclaim that second place. Here is Grigoletto on the back of De Bueno.
Whoa.
So, the Alpine getting all kinds of crossed up. They were 3.5 seconds apart previously, and now Grigoletto's ahead of De Bueno. So Grigoletto's in 8th now. So that has already changed. That position's already changed.
That's going to be controversial, to say the least.
Well, yes. So that puts Grigoletto back just in championship contention, but with the weather being the way it is, will he stay there?
Yeah, so this will put Grigoletto on 77 points. Simičić in P2 would be on 76. And if Sven Gillard is P2, he'd be on 71 as well. So yeah, so even if Sven makes it back through, he's not going to be able to affect things. Look at this, Leon Burnt gearing up for another attack there as we see Simičić and Gillard desperately trying to make their way through as quickly as possible. They've lost time to Ercan here, as there's been a little bit of drama further back, I think.
Gillison, I think, has just lost a spot to Banani. So Isaac Gillison, shame, such a shame because he was in a brilliant battle with Giuseppe Noia for so long, but sadly ran out of grip at the wrong time. The Porsche's going for the inside line. It's going to go through a lot of water. Do it. But here we go again at the top of the center S. Is the Porsche alongside? He's going to lose that inside line to the Aston Martin. Oh, it's roles reversed, and the Porsche now going to go for the outside line through Curva de Sol. Oh, he doesn't have the momentum that Alexis Hunt did. Oh, almost anything you can do, I can do as well. But the Porsche remained in 3rd. This is such a brilliant fight all over the place.
Well,
again,
I think Ruben is loving this the most because it's stopping either of them from focusing on catching him, essentially, as they were early in the race. And Ruben just seems to have found a little bit more pace in these tricky conditions. He's losing a little bit less time whenever they get lapped by the hypercars here. I think if Leon Burnt could get through, he might fancy his chances, but there's only 4 minutes left in the race here. Huben knows he just has to keep going, and he could potentially steal this championship at the death. And I think Marin Bessier is going to be ruining the drop score rule because it's absolutely put him in this position where he's been so consistent all season, right up until the end, where he made a bit of a bad qualifying and then a poor call, I think, with the weather change to pit for the wets a couple of laps too late early has cost him. And now we see Leon Burnt. Can he at least get P2 here? Because there is a big fight potentially for 3rd in the championship between these two, and it could go either way in these last few minutes.
It absolutely could. Look at the standing water on the outside line of Junshal. again, that can catch anyone out at any moment. This is what I'm saying. They have to be really driving on their wits every single lap, as Leon Ben doesn't get as good an exit out of Jun Xiao, out of Sabina de boxes. There's Alexis Hern did. So we're on a penultimate lap now with just 3 minutes to go. The Porsche's gone deep into turn 1. He's not going to hold on there. Here's Arda Erchan still with pretty much an unassailable lead. Just has to stroke it home now for another couple of laps. But where is Grigoletto? If he's remained in 8th position, which he has, so De Bono.
He's only about 4 seconds behind Gillison as well, actually. He's still pushing, so fair play to Fabio. He's going to make the best of it. That was a bit scary. That connection briefly seemed to drop. I think that might have been on our end rather than Grigoletto's, but he has had that kind of heartbreak before in this championship. I remember in the first season he was fighting for third in the Sprint Cup at Circuit of the Americas and then got disconnected with like 20 minutes left in the race. It was very, very cruel. And justly, I think he's had so much better luck, particularly last season, season 2, where he beat Simoncic. And it does seem it's come down to him versus Simoncic again. And getting that P8 is just enough for him. So, yeah, no, there's nothing really he can do. There's nothing Erchan can do. There's not much Gilhead can do either. Even if he passes Simoncic, it's not going to be enough to sort of overturn the tables. Because, like I say, only on 71 to, the 77 that I think Grigoletto is set for in P8 at the moment as we go into the final 90 seconds. But let's take nothing away from Erchan. All the dramas we're going behind, he's been having a very quiet, tidy drive since turn 1 with that collision with Chan, which feels like it happened a lifetime ago.
Yeah, but yeah, you can't deny that the pace, wet or dry, it's not luck. He hasn't lucked into his lead. He's built that completely on his own. He's been unopposed as Arda Erchan. So fantastic effort. Although, yeah, it's such a shame for Kobe Chan, that collision on the opening lap that saw.
And for Remy Delorme as well. It must be
and for Remy Delorme, yes, who was the one he hit. On that opening lap, we would never know what the qualifying difference was pretty big. We don't know if that qualifying pace would have continued in the wet. We will now never find out. But, less than a minute to go, everyone is going to be so tense. One mistake is going to absolutely,
look, there's Grigoletto.
There is. There is Grigoletto.
I think he's giving him a wide berth. Oh, that's not ideal. As he gets hit from Burnt. There's Hern dispensed of. And if anything, it looks like Alexis Hern had to back off a little bit more. So Leon Burnt really going for that second place, but he's running out of time here. This could well end up being the final lap, I think. Where is Erchan on the circuit? No, he's going to start another one.
Oof, that was a big old slide there from Arda Erchan, as he now starts the final lap. White flag.
Arda knows more laps in the race, more chance of something going wrong for Grigoletto.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that is not what Grigoletto would have wanted. Arda Erchan wants that extra lap, assuming that he himself doesn't throw it off the road.
And he's got the virtual energy. They're all on 7% or 5% for Bernani, and Grigoletto on 4%, interestingly. So Grigoletto might actually have to be conserved on this final lap a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think he'll have to back off too much. But Farinelli's in trouble. I think you have to have 1%, don't you, to avoid penalty? So,
I think as long as it doesn't hit 0, but
he doesn't have to, well, he has got to.
This is going to have to be the slowest final. I think it's raining, isn't it? Or he might pit anyway, just to make sure he doesn't get disqualified.
Right on cue. That is precisely what Daniele Farinelli has done, and you can't really blame him there.
De Bruyne nearly flying off track again at turn 1. In fact, he does leave the circuit, so Burt and Hern are going to have to see him fly right past them once they get up to speed down the road. Raposta here, and can Leon Burt, this is his last opportunity surely, as Marco De Bruyne again finds no space. He's in the middle of exactly where he doesn't want to be, in between the titanic second place battle here.
Wow, I bet there was a lot of clenching going on from all of them, all three drivers in that shot as that all happened there. But oh my goodness me, what a race it's been. But you can't take it away from this man. He has done everything he possibly could. He's backed off probably a little bit in this lap. The weather has been atrocious. But your winner for the final round of the Platinum Split here in a very wet Interlagos, flash of the lights. You deserve to be happy with that. Arda Erchan takes the win. Yeni Simoncic crosses the line, second place in the hypercars. That is now going to be down to the numbers, as his status is pulled over. Big old...
Whoa! That's not Bessier, is it?
It might be it might be Bessie.
It's either him or Arbois. It's one of those two. But anyway, here we go. GD3's not done yet either. I think Grigoletto is about to cross the line and take that P8 around the outside. Comes Leon Burnt through Jun Chao. It's going to be a race to the line. Wide goes to Porsche. It's always going to be difficult round the outside. So now it's going to be a straight fight to the line. Nicholas Hoopen is going to take the victory, and with it, the Season 3 VMS Platinum GD3 Championship. Who is going to finish P2? It is going to be Alexis Hurton, who flashes his lights in delight to get his best finish of the season. Leon Burnt misses out by a 10th.5 there, but it is Grigoletto that retains his championship in 8th place, only just after a big collision with Michel Rodriguez. Gave him so much work to do, but he kept his nose down. In the end, it may have been De Buono that gifted him the position, but Fabio Grigoletto had to work to regain that one and put himself in that position then. So it could have been Nurchans, it could have been Simic, it could have even been Geelheads, but in the end, it's a two-time champion, and it is Fabio Grigoletto in Season 3.
God, by the closest possible margin, just single points in it. But that is just summarised how this season has gone. It has been absolutely to the wire every lap of every race we've had. What a season.
Indeed. There we go. I think that's is that Klinkmuller just finishing. I think he's the last car to finish in 6th in class then. So all sorts of drama everywhere you look, but let's go through the GD3 results. Looked like Hoopen did back off over the line because he's only 8/10 then ahead of Alexis Hunt. But nonetheless, a brilliant drive from the Mustang. He passed Hunt early on, and that was enough to take the title in the end. A crucial win, 2 in a row in the final 2 races. So him and Erchan seem to be doing well in the wet. I'll put it that way. But yeah, Alexis Hunt gets his best result of the season in 2nd, just holding off a resurgent-looking Leon Burnt, who tried to go around the outside at Jun Chao and found himself just running out of grip when he needed it. Thomas Leiden ends the season strongly in P4. Elias Shorneck is 5th ahead of Niels Klinkmuller. Clement Arbois bold on the strategy to pit for the wets. That gets him up to P7, but Marine Bessier, it all falls apart at the end. After a nonetheless brilliant season for Marine Bessier, I think he shouldn't feel too disconsolate because it so easily could have gone the other way, and I'm sure Marin is going to be back giving it another go. Still his best result in the championship so far in P2 overall. Michel Rodriguez is 9th, still got to the end despite huge damage to the McLaren after contact with Grigoletto, sadly not getting to the end. Was Remy Delorme, who he tried to go to the inside and found a Valkyrie in the way. And Patrick Schindler as well. I forget what happened to Schindler. I assume nothing good because it's DNF next to his name.
Yeah, I don't know that we saw what happened to Patrick Schindler, did we?
Don't think he got very far in the race at all.
No.
Anyway, here is your hypercar results. Arda Erchan. I think it was more than the second. He was like 10 seconds ahead of Simic over the checkered flag. So I think that's slightly flattering to Yerne. He's a good driver, but he's not quite that good. I think we have to praise Chan's performance in these final 2 races. Superb by his absolutely high standards to take 2 wins in a row, but not quite enough for the title. He misses out. I think he ends up finishing 3rd. Simic has to once more forever the bridesmaid, it seems. Yerne Simic, again, 2nd for the 3rd year in a row in the hypercar standings. Sven Geelhead, he tried to hold off Simic as best he could, but in the end, he had to settle for 3rd. But it is 2 Door eSports cars on the podium. I think very similar to Spa, actually. It was Erchan and Hoyer. Now it's Erchan and Geelhead in the same positions. Hoyer himself, he was P4, defended well, but could not quite keep Simic at bay. De Nooijer, he finishes 5th in the end, ahead of Benani and Gillison. So a very, very good drive from the Italian, who has not got a lot of experience in the Platinum Split, but a P5 to his name, that could well put him in good stead ahead of Season 4 with Benani and Gillison 6th and 7th. Grigoletto, though, in that crucial P8, that was enough. Those precious 4 points, putting him over the line and giving him his 3rd championship. At least we think, for the time being. We'll have to see, wait for confirmation, of course, but I'm pretty confident in calling that. Marco De Buono gifted the position in the end, but, of course, he was in a big fight himself and beat Francesco Adamu. So a pretty decent day by the Alpines standards in P9. Outside the top 10, missing out on the points, was Daniele Farinelli, who really lost out in the final couple of minutes. Sadly, not getting to the end was our gold split champion, Johannes Price. Dario Mulo, it's had such a strong season, and indeed our pole sitter Kobe Chan taken out at the beginning by Chan. Will there be repercussions for that? We'll wait and see. I do hope Chan gets to keep that win because it was nonetheless a fabulous driver after that point.
I fail to see why he wouldn't. And we do have a couple of drivers wanting to come and have a chat to us. Arda Erchan and Fabio Grigoletto have made themselves available. I think we need to speak to our race winner before we head over to our defending champion. So let's grab Arda Erchan. Arda, are you with us?
Hello.
I've got to say, that was flawless. Absolutely brilliant. So yeah, you did absolutely everything you possibly could. Certainly in the tail half of the season. Talk us through from your side. It shaky start to the season, but wow, did you come through strong in the second half?
Yeah, last two races have been amazing, honestly. Coming into this race, being 24 points behind Fabio, I didn't expect to have a chance at all. But today was basically flawless in the race. I guess it was not in qualifying. I had a moment with Kobe at the start, but I don't think that was my fault. I need to go have a look at the replay. That's another thing. But yeah, the race was basically flawless, and for a moment, looking at my standings, I almost believed in the championship. Then Yerne and Fabio got through. But yeah, it was congrats to them both. I didn't expect it to get this close, so I'm happy with the result. I'm happy with the win. I just wish I had a better early half of the season, but it is what it is. There's no point crying over about it. Yeah.
So I mean, so what's changed? What's clicked that had made certainly the last couple of races, and particularly tonight's race? What have you done differently that set you up so strongly for tonight's race and also for the last race?
Honestly, I don't know. Not much has changed on my side. Maybe it's just the Falcon livery coming in handy for me.
A lucky livery, yeah, don't blame you at all. Arda Chani has been brilliant to commentate on you through the season. And yeah, will we see you back for season 4?
We'll see. We'll see. I still need to see the calendar. Need to plan for it.
Fair
But
play.
yeah,
Any
hopefully
questions, Ed?
so.
Well, just to say congratulations, Arda, and it's been brilliant to see you really excelling in these final two races. What is it about the wet? You always seem to gain another gear in wet conditions.
Well, I like the wet conditions. I've always did, and it seems to be in my favor whenever it rains. So I think I got my first win. I think I got all three of my wins in VMS in the wet. So
And you got a P2 in the dry at Sebring as well, so it's not just the
oh
rain.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess I pulled all my gap in the dry today.
Yeah, and
But yeah,
just a final thought. You talked about the Door Esports Falcon team. Your teammates really helping you out in the end, holding back Simoncic as best they could in Geelhead and Hoyer. So, any shout outs to them you want to make?
yeah. Obviously, they're great to work with. But yeah, as soon as water touches the track, the BMW is rapid compared to us. So I understand. Our Sven couldn't keep Bjorny behind, and at the end, it doesn't matter. So shout out to them, amazing guys.
Well, the BMW may have been rapid in the wet, but it wasn't anywhere near enough to catch the 101 Cadillac. So, congratulations, Arda Erchan. Thanks for talking to us, and well done. I think you're third place in the standings this season.
Yeah, that
And
should
best
be
of luck
correct.
for season 4.
Thank you, and have a good evening.
Right. Well, Chris, I think we've been holding off too long. Shall we get our new hypercar champion in?
I fully agree. Let us have Fabio Grigoletto. Fabio, you with us?
Hello, guys.
Oh, you've got to tell us what was going through your mind at lap 1 or the early part of this race, because you must have. Well, make it stream friendly, because I suspect there may well have been a few words that we can't repeat. But what was going through your mind in the beginning part of this race?
Yeah, I started a bit annoyed for the qualifying. Then in lap 1, I don't know, I saw space that was created through the field, and I ended up P4, and it was quite a surprise. Then I got killed by a GT3, and my head was a bit underground after that. But fortunately, my teammates helped me to get the championship.
I mean, What was the what? How were you feeling coming into this race? Well, you had the weather forecast that said it was going to be potentially very heavy rain, which obviously happened, but it happened quite late in the actual race. What was your feeling coming into the race before the lights went out?
Before the race, I thought the race was gonna be full rain, so I didn't make any dry laps in the practice. And I was quite surprised when I saw the start of the rain with the dry.
Yeah, I thought we were going to have some rain during the qualifying actually, um, but yeah, you've really epitomized just what the word determination really is. You know, you had that early problems and you stuck with it. It was, but your whole season has been certainly for the most part has been absolutely brilliant to watch and a very worthy double champion. So great stuff. Well done, Fabio.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, history being made. Well done, Fabio. And just one question for me is when you had the collision with, I think it was Rodriguez in the McLaren GD3, and you went into the pits. I heard that you did repair the car, so it took a bit longer than expected. Was that just you being flustered, or was that a sense of I need the car in the best condition because the rain's going to come and it's only going to get worse?
No, I didn't pit after the damage. I pit when the rain
Oh, that
started
was it. That
falling,
was it. Yes.
and I just change tires. Don't even put virtual energy because with the rain, of course, you consume less virtual energy. But I don't know. Usually the tire change is 12 seconds. It took me 13 and a half seconds. I don't know.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't as spectacular as has been made out. It was just a small delay then, but nonetheless, you fought back brilliantly, Fabio. Congratulations on the double championship. I guess the next aim is now to make it a triple in season 4, isn't it? Because you seem to have become addicted to that winning feeling.
Yeah, in Italy we call it triplete. So let's see if we can get one. And
Tripletessa.
before leaving, I would like to wish happy birthday to my teammate Leo, and
Oh,
have a good night, guys. Thank you for having me.
well, thank you very much. Our new champion, Fabio Grigoletto, once more in the VMS Platinum Split.
Great stuff. Thank you very much,
Well,
Fabio Grigoletto. And
one more
that
champion to go, I think.
one more champion to go. Let's grab over Niklas Huben. Niklas, are you with us?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Yeah, that it was a little, you needed a bit of luck on your side, and wow, did it all come through good. You've got to be happy with this.
Yeah. It's interesting what happened today. I did not think it would be possible. A lot of things happened behind me, around me, in front of me. It was quite stressful. But yeah, somehow worked out.
It's for a period of time. Did you kind of think the championship was gone? Or did that not really enter your mind until after the checkered flag had fallen?
I was surprised how good the quali was, since I expected actually a wet quali. So yeah. And after the crash that was happening in that one, yeah, there was a lot of happening, but I quickly realized I'm pretty fast compared to Alex. So I was trying to play the long game and somehow got past, and yeah, managed it somehow to the end.
It's been wonderful to commentate the season, and a very very worthy champion. Well done, Niklas. Will we see you back for season 4?
Probably, I don't know yet. We don't have made the plans yet.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
He's
Any
got a party
questions,
to
Ed?
do first, Chris. He's not gonna,
Yeah,
he's not going to make
absolutely.
any plans until that's over. But as Chris said, congratulations, Nicholas. Obviously, last season you did hypercar and you won the endurance round at Fuji in the end. And you had some strong moments in that season. And you made the decision to go to GD3. And it's that second half of the season where you've really been racking up the wins and the podiums. And in the end, the drop score rule sort of worked against Bessier and absolutely played into your favor. So it must be a satisfying feeling for you in the end to narrowly steal away the championship. Do you think the GT3 in the end the Mustangs suited you a bit better than the Ferrari Hypercar 499P?
Oh, yeah. In the beginning, when I tried LMU, I did not really like the GT3s, so I drove hypercars, and then they updated GT3s
And you've
tires
changed your mind
especially.
now.
And I have to say, I hate the hypercar tires at the moment, and it drives so bad. So yeah, that's why I drive GT3. That's basically the reason.
Okay. We apologize to Studio 397. Please
Yeah.
keep watching.
What's the new tires, please?
Okay, hopefully it's constructive feedback, so I'm sure they will listen and act accordingly. But anyway, Nicolas, it's been only other question I had to mind was what was going through your head when you saw Bessier had stayed out as the rain was falling. Do you think he was just trying in vain to hope that it would dry up and hold you up a little bit?
No, it was pretty clear what was about to happen, what he would try. Not saying it was any kind of unfair. So yeah, I mean, he has to let me not win. That was the goal. Yeah, did not work, luckily. But there was no point of getting dries, or it will get dry in the end. So yeah.
Well, nonetheless, fantastic performance from yourself, Nicolas. Brilliant final 2 races of the season. And we hope you enjoy your Season 3 GD3 title. And whichever championship you continue in, I assume it's going to be GD3. And we wish you the best of luck if you choose to take part in Season 4. Either way, you've definitely made some history tonight. And thanks for talking to us.
Have a good evening, and thank you guys. Bye.
Well, there we go, Chris. So both our winners and both our champions interviewed then, and yeah, amazing. That was definitely it was a 5-way title fight going in. We've got to feel a bit for Dario Mulo because we're still not quite sure exactly what happened to him at the start there. But throughout, it was a 4-way title fight. It looked like Erchan was going to win it. Then very briefly, it was going to be Simoncic or Geelhead. And then Grigoletto just did enough right at the end with a bit of help from his friends, as Sergeant Pepper used to say, but or rather the Beatles, to be more accurate. But yeah, nonetheless, a fantastic season, and yeah, that really sets the stage well for season 4. Can Grigoletto make it 3 in a row? Can Yene Simoncic brush off the bridesmaid status, finally take a title? And GD3, is Nicholas Hoopen going to come back and defend that title, or are the likes of Marin Bessier, or maybe someone new can come along and blitz the GD3 field? It has happened before.
Well, there's only one way to find out, and that is to join us for Season 4. Pre-qualifying starts on the 10th of December. So those that want to get involved...
That's 3 days away.
Indeed it is. So the racing may come to an end for this season, but the wheels never really stop turning here at VMS. You want to get involved, you may have lunatics like us shouting about your on-track antics. Find us on Discord, the link's in the description. Get involved, and we look forward to seeing you trackside.